G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to Cold Waters with Mags, and once again we're stepping away from the Seawolf campaign to take out a submarine that we haven't driven in quite some time. This is a Los Angeles class 688 attack submarine, and we are currently under the polar ice caps hunting down a Soviet Typhoon class and its escorts. And we just made an identification on the Sierra class. Now, there's a couple of things about this particular scenario. You're going to hear a lot of explosions in the background that sound a lot like torpedoes. It's actually not torpedoes. Well, I think they could have done a better job with the sound. It's actually the sound of the ice cracking around us as different floating icebergs smash into one another as we're sailing through the area. We're underneath a sheet of ice, and there are large free-floating chunks of ice floating around as well. Now, on top of this is a really interesting environment to play in. The sheet of ice over the surface of the area is going to reflect sound back. You'll also get sections where the surface ice actually comes down under the water, forming like an upside down mountain range across the surface of the water, and these do reflect sonar, as does the surface sheet of ice itself. So what you get is a lot of sound bouncing around. So anything you pick up on passive sonar, even if you've got a very high rating, or very high solution rather, you can never be 100% sure it's exactly where your passive sonar is saying it is. And likewise the same with active. Any return you get back on active sonar, well, it could be correct, or it might not be. Now, just as a final note, this particular engagement has been heavily edited down. The original fight was close to an hour long. It took a lot of playing around to actually get some of these targets. So anyways, ladies and gents, I'll flick over to the live comms and I hope you enjoy.
Passing 100 feet.
Alright. 44% solution on Sierra 3.
Sonar new contact bearing 0, 0.
Bring it down to 300 feet, so we're at about her level. We have Sierra 5. What are you? I reckon you going to be a biologic. Yep, there we go. Blue whale. So we've got 2 blue whales in the zone, plus 2 Sierra class attack submarines and the Typhoon, which is our target. 49% solution. God, I love playing into the ice caps. 51% solution, and we're 5.3 kiluyards away from the target. Although, are we 5.3 kiluyards away from the target? It's pinging actively. It's got 43% on active. It should be able to detect us right now, but it's not acting like it has. But I can't really risk it getting the jump on us here, so... It's 1 away. Sonar at 2, and launch transient. Sierra has fired, and it's further away than I thought it was. Not by much though.
Launch transient from Sierra 3. Sonar, we are cavitating.
Well, it doesn't really matter. I need speed.
Contact Sierra 1. Last bearing 3, 5, 6. Contact faded. Sonar lost contact. Sierra 5. Last bearing 0.
That's alright, we'll pick the other 12 other submarines up soon enough.
Sonar lost contact. Sierra.
There it is, there's Sierra 3, 95% solution.
Contact faded.
That should be an accurate location now.
Passing 400 feet.
Right,
Passing 500 feet.
and torpedo 1 and 2 have just gone active.
Sonar no longer cavitating.
And those torpedoes have acquired.
100 feet.
Looks like the Sierra's torps haven't gone active just yet. Alright, Sierra's torps have gone active. 1 has definitely acquired, it's coming down. The other one looks like it did not detect us. That countermeasure, so I'm just going to dodge this one. the left. Okay, we may be able to get clear before it can reacquire. Alright, torpedoes have hit the Sierra. At least one of them has. And Sierra's torpedo has reacquired. And so we took the knuckle then. Sierra's torpedo has reacquired and is reclosing. I have an idea. Alright. That knuckle should throw it again. And yep, it's turned away. And turning back in to reacquire, and it has reacquired. Come on. Take the knuckle, and yep, it's turned away again. Right. Pardon me, Sierra, you have just become my countermeasure. Yeah, it's reacquired. We're going to have to throw it off one more time. Let's pop countermeasure. Go, it's turned away. Let's turn back. Come on, noisy Sierra, pick it up. And torpedo has acquired the wreck of the Sierra. Well, if there are any survivors in there, sorry. Alright, let's get ourselves turned back around here. And I just saw a pop-up on the map. Yep, there's two. We've got subsurface protrusion ice in this area.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 4, bearing 009.
Which is actually a really good point to surface up into, because it is going to cause all kinds of nightmares to the enemy's sonar.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 4, bearing 0.
So we're going to reach line it here.
Sonar regained contact on Sierra 5, bearing 3, 4.
If we just cruise along this underwater ridge of ice,
Contact on Sierra 1, bearing 3, 2, 5.
we should be able to remain basically undetected. Look at all this. This is what we're sailing under at the moment. Well, there is some liquid water just there off to our left. Okay, so let's follow this ridge line.
Come left 2, 3, 3.
That'll take us towards the Typhoon, which is our end target anyway, but we are going to have to deal with that Sierra on the way past. I reckon what we might do so sure that's a good idea. 19 active, -1 passive. It should be able to hear us once again, and it should be able to pick us up on active sonar, but the ice is messing with it, so it's not sure. We haven't got a good detection on the Sierra, so I can't check it. I'm thinking we need to draw the Sierra out, and I need something for the Typhoon to focus on. So if we fire the Moss, because at the moment they'll be able to hear the sounds for a Sierra on the bottom there, But our sounds, not only are we running... Oh, there's Sierra 2.
Sierra 2, bearing 281.
It doesn't really matter, it doesn't really change the plan. We're already running fairly quiet, and even though they should be able to detect us with active pinging, the ice is messing up their active pinging. So if we give them something to look at, they should reveal themselves. Yeah, let's fire the Moss. Firing?
2-1, aye, sir.
Alright, so all things going to plan. This is going to take a little while to get up there, but these two will detect it, and they should make a move to try and destroy it. And in the process, they're going to reveal exactly where they are. I should be able to safely fire kill shots on both of them. Torpedo in the water. Okay, Sierra 2 has fired, and it's fired on the Moss. So we now have, well, a much better idea of exactly where she is. She is significantly closer than I first thought she would be. The sonar ping seem to be given us here. The bearing seems right. So if we turn off here, we can start closing onto a position. But we are moving away from the ridge line, so we are going to lose some of the cover that we've got here at the moment, or at least from the active sonar. Typhoon is moving away now too, so we're going to have to do this fast, otherwise Typhoon's going to move out of range for us to detect, and if that happens and she goes silent, we'll never find her again. Tracking. I think even Sierra's messed up the solution, and unless that torpedo isn't exactly where it is saying it is, that's way behind. It's a very poor lead on the Moss. I want to fire a torpedo now. Sorry about that there, guys. I'm sure there's going to be a little jump cut edit in there somewhere. I just had somebody walk into the room and start talking about some personal stuff, so can't have that in a live recording. Anyways, the Sierra's torpedo thankfully hasn't taken out the blue whale. We do have a 95% solution on Sierra now, so I reckon it's time to take a shot at her, and she's still convinced the Moss is us. She's turning after it. 7 yards away. Tube 2 clear. And she's counter-firing. Alright, our second torpedo is away. Oh, Sierra. Sierra. Big mistake. The Sierra's heard the launch transients and has assumed that the Moss is still the hostile and fired after them. We have a hostile torpedo that's hit the water around about the point. That must be from Typhoon. Typhoon must be deploying, launching missile-deployed torpedoes. We're nowhere near there, so we don't need to worry about it, but that Moss did its job. The Moss did its job very well. So Sierra's torpedoes are just going to go off into oblivion. Sierra does have a towed sonar array, but she's doing 32 knots, so it has to be retracted. You can't, the towed sonar array will only deploy at 10 knots or below. You have to be above, actually I think it might be a little bit higher than, it might be 15. 15 knots or below. Actually, I'm starting to think it's 20 knots or below now. You have to be above 5 knots. 5 knots or above but below 20 to have the towed sonar rate. Regardless, it's not going to deploy at 35 knots. So she can't hear behind herself at the moment. She has full engine noise, chasing after a ghost, essentially, moving at flank speed, and she has no array behind her to hear, so she... Until I turn on the active sonar on these torpedoes, Sierra has no idea that there are two Mark 48s behind her. And she's picked up the airdrop torpedo. Oh, you silly, silly, silly target. Is it going to hit? Yep, there it is. Impacted on the left-hand side. Looked like the main engine compartment. So, Sierra's already taken a torpedo, likely launched from Typhoon. She's still doing 35 knots. So it doesn't seem to have bothered her too much. Airdrop torpedoes generally don't have a particularly large payload. But she's completely blind to the fact that there's two Mark 48s coming up behind her as well. She does appear to be sinking though. Really fast. She's going to hit the bottom. She's flooding. Yep, she's a dead stop. She's trying to do flank speed. The airdrop torpedo didn't do a huge amount of damage to her, but what it did do is puncture the pressure hull, and she's flooded. And she's sunk to the bottom. So if I manually bring these torpedoes down, they should reacquire her. That's one. We get three. Oh, this feels dirty. Three, come on. Turn back to the right, thank you. Two Mark 48s manually guided in on a Sierra that sunk itself and got itself stuck on the bottom of the ocean where it cannot move. I was expecting more of a fight than this. But, the moss worked really well. Well, I don't really know what else to say about that. That's Sierra essentially executed. Well, we can just run down Typhoon at this point now. Typhoon appears to be doing 5 knots, trying to remain undetected. And she appears to be at about a 20.2 kiloyard range, so if we maintain about 10 knots, it'll take a little while to reel her in, but we should be able to do it without being detected, and we'll get first shot. What are you doing? She's coming back. She's coming back.
Con, helm, steady course.
There's no way known she could have detected us. Although she is actively pinging. But if she was confident with her active ping, she'd already be firing. But she hasn't launched a single torp at this point. What are you thinking, Typhoon? You see 48 on active and 12 passive, and 16 on towed. Everything should be able to detect me at the moment, but she is not firing a shot. Let's see how well she can detect us. I'm going to try and fire out a nice widespread pattern like I normally would on a more long-range shot than this. I want it to. Oh shit, there's a launch transient, and yeah, that's directly for us. So let's adjust these torpedoes. And that is a hell of a lot closer than I thought it would be. That's like at 4 kiluyards range. Alright, that's the moss away. Hopefully torpedoes will pick up on that. Yep, that's fine. I don't care about the wires. Got no moss left. Torpedo as well, in case we need them. Torpedo's gone active and it's diving, so it has acquired. Something for you to look at there. Lord, one of those is to make you fall off. Dive under it. The torpedo turned to the right, it didn't take countermeasures. Looks like I'm going to be able to duck in underneath it at the very least. So, hopefully it'll pick up the countermeasure and the moss on the second pass. And the Typhoon is still floating. Do something about that. Although looking at that, floating is a relative term. It looks like she's taken on too much water and she's sunk, and it looks like she's lost her engines as well. And looks like we are clear of the torpedo. Or at least we're low enough at this point that it's not detecting us. Wire lost. We need to worry about that. I don't think the Typhoon is going to dodge this. Boom. Okay, Typhoon down. Shit. Yeah, I was worried about that. We've moved too far away and the torpedo was able to reacquire. Come on, take the countermeasure. Oh no, no, don't do that, no! Shit. Alright, I should have gone to all stop and just sat underneath the torpedo. And it's taken on the ballast tanks and we're flooding and we're starting to sink. No, we're not playing this game. I've seen enough Russians do that already in this mission. Come on. Alright, it's my E blue. No, that's not the one. E blue, come on. There we go. And the ballast system is damaged because that's where we took the torpedo, so we can't E-blow. That's fine. we're heading to the surface anyway. We're going to get there quite easily, and as soon as we punch the top, we will start getting rid of the flooding in the sub, and we should be fine. There we go. And water levels are already starting to drop. Anyways, ladies and gents, that was pretty much it for the mission. Once we got the submarine to the surface, we pumped out the ballast tanks, we were able to repair them, and from that point, we were able to end the mission. Anyways, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you very much for watching. As always, remember to check the video description down below for links to all of my social media, my Discord, my Twitch, and my Patreon. And as always, remember to click that like button, share, and subscribe if you would like to see more. And until next time, take care.